What is up, my viewers? Spang here, and it is time for a World of Tanks replay commentary. One of my matches in the Lorraine 155 meal 51, however you want to call it. I just call it the Lorraine 55-51, just to simplify things for my own sake. But it is going to be a standard battle on Abbey, the only kind of battle on this map, and something a little bit different since you guys don't usually see too many artillery videos from my channel, either from me or from viewer submitted replays either, just simply because artillery matches tend to be a little less engaging. They tend to be more RNG dependent. They tend to be a little more predictable, I guess, a little less exciting because, I mean, not too much usually happens. Now you see me going to a common artillery position on this map, as is usually the case with artillery, because there's only a few viable spots that you can really take into account. T-25-2 sitting in that bush, very predictably so, and I'm going to lob a shell at him thinking he is still there once I am aimed fully in, and away it flies. Kill. Oh, I guess not kill. There we go. Kill number 1 for my team, I think. Yeah, that T-25-2 was the first kill. There we go. I'm the replay kind of not giving me proper kill feeds here. Being a little bit laggy, per se, is throwing me off, if that is not very much apparent. And the enemy team pushing up pretty heavily on this 8-line flank. The E-25s working together, mostly because I believe they are platooned up. Yes, they are. And typically is the way of E-25s is to run in packs if you want to be effective in them. Not that you can't be without running in a pack, you know, running solo, but they certainly are very much more so when you have a couple of them together. Got ourselves a KV-85, looking to cause some trouble for our T-71. As you can tell, I do have the battle assistant mod just to make sure I am better leading the target, and, well, not so much leading the target. In fact, I don't like it for trying to aim at stationary vehicles, but I do like it for when I'm trying to fire around a building, such as that one is right there. That little roof is in the aiming circle, although you can't quite see it because replays don't really like the battle assistant mod. Again, still trying to shoot around buildings here, and so battle assistant is really handy in showing you exactly how your round's going to interact with the vertical terrain around the area. Usually if it's a wide open field and this target is moving, it is usually better to aim from the overhead, just because it gives you a better idea of how to predict a target's movement. The KV-5 finally getting eliminated there by our E-25. A little bit surprising considering the E-25 doesn't have that great of armor. I mean, that great of armor penetration. There we go. And the KV-85 is what is usually well known for its kind of troll and somewhat reliable armor. Looking like a T-21 causing some trouble, getting me antsy enough to move away. So far I've dealt over 800 damage because I'm pretty sure that T-25-2 is not a factor. Running into an M4 Easy 2, a Jumbo Sherman, fully auto-locked in, and I will derp him for full health because he did not want to mess with me. Tier 8 meets Tier 6, and I taught him just what the difference is. And I go, oh, in chat, because, you know, it's sometimes I like to rub a little bit of salt in the wound, especially if I know I had no right to survive, just to see what kind of rise I can get out of people. That Jumbo Sherman still showing up on the minimap due to a glitch in the replay/game file that typically can happen with certain mod packs that modify the minimap, such as what the mod pack I have installed at the time of this replay does. Looking like enemy artillery is spotted. I really just want to kill this T-21 before he causes a little bit more trouble for our vehicles. I know he's kind of a threat to me, but also to our other artillery more so, and I want to see if I can save him. All at the same time, we have a Super Pershing pushing on our base, causing a bit of trouble. Our team is ahead in tanks, and significantly so in hit points. We are on top of the enemy's base, and they are struggling to pull out a victory via capture. A little exposed there. I don't think they realize just how exposed they are. That Super Pershing definitely going to be the focus of my attention until he pulls around that house. And it looks like that Panther 2 coming across their artillery. A 2-half shot on the Super Pershing. Want to see if I can reset him and ruin his day a little bit, but my teammate beats me to it. Does track him, make him an easy target for me. And I do 404 damage, health not found. and significantly help their effort towards kicking his butt in and turning him into nothing but slag. Looking like fellow artillery piece getting pushed on by that T-21. Unfortunately, not much I can do to save him, as I am still reloading, hoping that I can get another shot off on a super Pershing. Not to mention there's a mountain in my way, so I can't really do much about it. And at this point, 2 kills for me. My team kind of risking a lot here by letting that super Pershing sit on base and capture. We do have a Pershing heading back to try and reset and save the day. Got a Panther 2 also heading back. The Elk AMX sitting on their base. And at this point, it's important to keep in mind that the Jumbo Sherman is still counted as alive on their roster, so we actually do have a 2-tank lead. Super Pershing out in the open, getting reset, and will I get another kill? I will. There we go, kill number 3 for me, and my team managing to pull off a very solid victory at this point. Now, that is actually all the enemy vehicles, again, due to malfunctions in the replay and malfunctions in the game interacting with the mod pack. Not really able to properly calculate tank lead there. All 3 of the vehicles that are still counted alive on the enemy team are in fact dead and were killed by me. So that is... So I did kill that T-25 too. I was remembering the game right. It's just the replay file did not calculate it properly. Got it. My confusion is finally cleared up. Now, a pretty fun match, a little bit interesting considering the way I had to reposition my vehicle and how I had to derp that super Pershing. Had no right to live there, but you know, I lived to kill, and there eventually I was a pretty good factor in helping our team deal with that super Pershing. He probably would have been a much larger pain in our backsides had I not been able to take him out. And if I hadn't taken out that super Pershing, I mean not super Pershing, the Jumbo Sherman, then he would have also been another factor that would have killed our other artillery piece far sooner. They would have had more vehicles on base, and it might have actually turned around to be a loss, even though we ended up winning by a comfortable margin. But let's go to those post-game stats and see exactly how everyone else racked and stacked. And here we go, post-game stats. I actually forgot about this. I earned a medal that I was not aware existed. It is called Stark's Medal, and while driving a SPG, or artillery piece, whatever you want to refer to it as, I usually just call it arty, destroy at least 2 enemy vehicles while receiving at least 2 enemy hits that cause damage or are blocked by armor. You have to survive the battle, and the total amount of damage received and damage blocked by armor must be at least 2/3 of the hit points of your vehicle. Hitting allied vehicles does not count, obviously can be obtained in random battles only. So my first time earning that award, was not aware it was a thing, but I did get myself high caliber, and we'll see why in just a minute. Bruiser as well, because, well, it's artillery piece. You're gonna get crits here, there, everywhere. And that Jumbo Sherman, I'm kind of curious what I hit on him, but I did do his full 760 damage. Getting myself the most damage out of both teams, so definitely being a contributing factor in that regard, and the game recognizing so by giving me 2 medals for it. Experience-wise, also top of both teams. I mean, it's not too hard to be top of both teams when you get when you're on the winning team and you're top of experience on the winning team, because, I mean, how often do you see someone on the losing team get more experience than someone on the winning team in terms of, like, top versus top? And going a little bit more into detail here, we see 7 shots fired, 6 of those hit, and 6 were penetrations. Now, granted, again, I say with all the sincerest meaning in the world that RNG is the biggest factor when it comes to artillery. I mean, without a doubt, you know that the only reason I lived versus that Jumbo Sherman was because of RNG. You cannot argue otherwise. That was complete RNG, and I mean, I exercised the judgment. I blitzed him, wanting to get in close to improve my chances best I could of hitting him. I did auto aim just to make sure my gun wasn't going to be running all over the place from me trying to drive and aim my mouse at the same time and all that good stuff. I did all the right things, and RNG happened to be on my side as well, and I got the kill. And because I managed to live in that moment and kill that vehicle, I managed to get kills later on and definitely be a contributing factor towards my team's victory. Like I said, I lived to kill, and that's pretty much all it comes down to. Is artillery in general. Here's the thing, RNG might screw you over heavily. You have a better chance of coming back from that if you're alive for the entirety of the match, if you're alive for longer, and French artillery is so good at that just because And French artillery is so good at that just because it is such a fast-moving vehicle. I mean, a lot of scout tanks can't even keep up with it. Or at the very least, they can't catch up to it just because of how fast they move. And you need to abuse that. You need to, you know, when the enemy is knocking on your door, GTFO, get out of there, reposition, and continue to provide fire support to your team until the very end. Pretty much, that is the only way you're going to guarantee that you are, you know, giving any sort of consistent performance that helps your team win. But I feel like I beat that dead horse enough. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. So, thanks for watching, everyone. If you got a replay you think I should do a commentary on, description below for instructions on how to submit. If you want to find out more ways to follow and support my channel, description also has information on that. But what's it, this has been Spang, and clearly I am just oh so professional. Until next time, my viewers.
MLG Dynamo!